Yesterday, we updated you on Nelson Mandela Bay's tap water crisis. Residents of Gqeberha are being asked to boil tap water or add bleach to it to avoid getting sick. Let's get an update now from Joseph Tsatsire. He's the municipality's acting executive director for infrastructure and engineering. Good evening, sir. Could you update us on the latest situation? Are people still having to boil their tap water in the 6th largest city in the country?
Thank you very much, Sally. Good evening again, once again, to your viewers. I think it's proper that I provide a context, to the current quality issues that we are experiencing in the Nelson Mandela Metro. We are experiencing one of the worst droughts, in the history of the institution. And I think with that, there's a risk of water shortage as well as quality, as well as an operational risk associated with, managing the drought. Rightfully so, I think from Monday onwards we have been experiencing failures in terms of parameter in our water reticulation system. We had actually samples that have failed and demonstrated E. coli in the system. We have actually troubleshooted the system and identified the causes of, the cause where it was coming from. We have isolated one of a temporary treatment plant that was actually, was part of the problem. And as we speak now, we are stabilizing the system, and we have taken the results as of yesterday. There is no E. coli in our water, and we hope that, by tomorrow we will actually then get final results that will also comply in terms of coliforms, that is currently sitting at 70%.
Right. How many people have got sick from drinking tap water in Gqeberha that has E. coli in it?
We have got investigations that are currently happening as we speak. We have entered into a partnership with the university.
So how many do you think? So what are your ballpark figures at this point? Don't tell me what you're going to get. Tell me what you know.
No, there are reports that there is one child that has died and the other one that has been discharged from the hospital. As far as we know, there are 2 that is allegedly said to have contracted E. coli from our water. But I think we need to ascertain and investigate and make sure that we attribute this to the quality of the water in the city.
No, obviously you have to do those investigations. The reality is, as the municipality, you have a constitutional obligation to provide clean, safe drinking water to the people of your city. You have failed to do that. And also, you failed to listen to people. We've been speaking to people for over a week now who've been saying this water is making us sick. Who's going to get fired over this?
Yeah, as rightfully as I said, we need to actually do an investigation and determine exactly what are the causes.
I would say the fact that you have E. coli in your tap water, knowing for years that you've got a major drought problem, is already, someone should have been fired already. So you tell me who's in the firing line here.
No, firing is not the solution. We need to determine.
I think firing is the solution, and I'll tell you why. You need to find who's responsible for not doing their job properly, because this is a problem in municipalities. If you don't do your job properly, you need to get fired. Because the very least you can do for the citizens of Gqeberha is say your water is not safe. Start boiling it now and not wait for weeks to tell them.
Okay, I think you're going to have to give me the opportunity to respond to you as well. What I've said that we are experiencing a drought phenomenon in the city, and with that, there is a huge risk associated with the quality of water. But there is deterioration in the raw water quality. There is deterioration, in the quantity of water in the city, and that comes with intermittent supply and quite a huge operational risk into the city, which there are mitigation measures that have been put in place, but at times, those mitigation measures are found wanting because of the magnitude and extent in which, these risks manifest themselves. We continue to improve our system to ensure that we are fully insulated from this risk. And again, the only thing, because of the drought, there is quite a number of risks associated with the movement of water in the system.
All right, so what I'm hearing you saying is when the drought gets really bad, your responsibility, your constitutional responsibility to provide clean, safe drinking water to the people of your city needs to be disregarded, essentially.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the city has got processes in place to ensure that we continuously provide, clean water to the residents. The provision of water into the system is a very dynamic process, and we continue to have monitoring mechanisms. By the way, for us to be able to pick up the E. coli in the water is through the vigorous testing process that we have and system that we have.
Well, I think it was also through the residents saying we are getting sick. And if you'd listened to them a little earlier, perhaps you could have put these measures in place.
No, there are protocols in place in order to actually make residents aware. And I think as we picked up that, we actually communicated with the residents, ensure that we provide education and awareness to actually then protect residents from getting sick. As we speak now, there are environmental practitioners that are going into communities to ensure that we create that necessary awareness for the residents to be protected, from the sickness. Time and again, systems fail, and I think we have got a duty and a responsibility to ensure that at the same time, the residents are protected.
Joseph Tsatsire, the Acting Executive Director of Infrastructure and Engineering in the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality. So he has confirmed 1, possibly 2 deaths, and they still have to fully confirm that that baby died because of E. coli from tap water. But the residents, in fact, told our reporter, Gqeberha, for a while now, and we reported on this earlier this week, and they've only recently put in the measure that you have to boil your own tap water in Gqeberha.